So, welcome everyone. I'm Alexander Mihalcha, and today we have one of the industry leaders, Howard Carter, CEO and founder of Incognito. Welcome, Howard. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
Awesome, and I'm excited to have you on the podcast today, and I'm sure you're going to be of great value for the audience.
I hope so, thank you.
And now, before we dive in, could you give us a quick overview of what Incognito does?
Incognito makes you invisible to all insects. It acts by camouflaging. It's a camouflage rather than the neurotoxins that kill insects. So what we do is protect naturally anywhere on the planet from mosquitoes, and that's clinically tested, and the ingredients proved by World Health Organization.
Okay, that's fascinating. And what inspired you to create Incognito? Was there a specific moment or experience that sparked this journey?
Definitely an experience. I was in Kerala in a low risk malaria area, low risk time of year, but I knew I was attractive to mosquitoes, so I still took all of the precautions. I took 100% DEET, I took anti-malarials, and on New Year's Eve I was having a supper with my companion, my girlfriend, and she looked at me and in horror and she said, "Look at your shirt." And I did, and it was covered in, it was all ripped and in tatters, like ripped like the Incredible Hulk, only I didn't have the physique. It wasn't the
Yeah.
physique, it was the deep melting my shirt. And it didn't protect me, so I got a few bites around the ankles, and that was enough for me to contract malaria. And I did the malarials that I was taking, anti-malarials, didn't work. I now know that they don't work 100%. They work approximately 91% effective. So that's and then followed by dengue fever 5 months later. So those two experiences combined gave me the seed to invent the first formulation of Incognito.
Okay, that's really fascinating. But for example, what was your background before starting this venture?
Well, it's mainly advertising and publishing. However, I was very good at science at school, and I used to go to science club. And because I like science a lot, especially chemistry, biochemistry, so I got to run a laboratory for a year, which was very exciting, running a quality control laboratory in cutting edge technology. I worked under the first person to invent the calculator. He was the manager. So, I had a good scientific training.
Okay, I see. And for example, looking back, what would you wish you've done differently in those early days when you're starting the company?
Well, I suppose I'd like to have gone to I think to Oxford and studied like biology or biochemistry there, which would have given me. But it's really hard to say. Going back, what would have happened? I mean, so many variables.
Yeah, of course. But hypothetical speaking.
Yeah, it's Oxbridge and studying where DNA was first identified at Cambridge or other science breakthroughs at both universities. Maybe do a BSc at one and a PhD at the other. That's what I would have liked to have done.
Okay, so let's go back to when you first started. So, how did you achieve 100% efficacy with plant-based ingredients?
Well, that was the what the aim was to invent, to formulate something that was plant based, that worked all over the world, and was good for the environment as well. The Initially it wasn't 100%. Initially it took a while. The first, well, I mean, there's various formulations. I flew around the world trying different ingredients, testing them and getting them from doctors, nurses, whoever. And then what happened was with the formulation that I ended up with was 82% effective. That's tested at the London School of hygiene and tropical medicine, which I work very closely, I still do, with the scientists there. So that's anything above 80% is in the maximum effectiveness category, but it's not a good idea. You wouldn't want to take it to somewhere where there's a mosquito-borne disease. It's endemic. So after over a period of years, and with the help of the scientists, especially one scientist who was in charge of vector control at the school, Dr. Nigel Hill, gave me a lot of his time. I managed to get to this 100% effective. It's classed as a repellent, even though it camouflages like I said at the beginning. So that took another, I suppose, 5 years really from the time I had the first formulation.
Okay, I see. And for example, with that being said, what are the key differences between Incognito and synthetic repellents like DEET?
Well, the first is the obvious one. One's made in a laboratory, and the other's natural. Then it's DEET is a neurotoxin. It interferes with the CNS, the central nervous system of insects, and mainly kills them. It's an Incognito, of course, doesn't. The insect doesn't really have much connection with the wearer of Incognito, just because it can't see. They can't see the individual, can't see. That's how it works. But it's also DEET is pollutes synthetics. Well, DEET in particular, it pollutes the environment. It kills aquatic wildlife. Incognito doesn't kill anything. Also with the companies is we're an ethical company. We donate 10% of profits to charities, and we're sustainable. Which again, we have sustainable development, which again, DEET doesn't. So those are the main differences.
Okay, I see. But how does
Just one last
Incognito?
one. Incognito, DEET melts plastics, hard plastic, like my shirt that I was wearing, and cameras, glasses, and Incognito is totally safe. Doesn't melt anything, doesn't harm you.
Okay, I see the difference now. But how does Incognito address the growing threat of mosquito-borne disease like Zika and dengue fever?
Yes, well, we've started. As an aside, I've started the DAP dengue awareness program because people aren't aware of it. Incognito, we've done a lot of education since we've started, mainly educating the public first, people that natural does work, can work as effectively as DEET and other synthetics. But for the disease areas, again, we've educated them, we've told them, and we've done surveys, that about mosquito-borne disease areas that are endemic, especially like the whole of the equator around the whole is endemic with dengue, for example, Zika. I'm a mosquito or an insect bite prevention expert, and I go on TV and radio regularly, and came up with Cloak to help people and protect them from mosquito-borne disease, particularly. Cloak, C stands for cover your arms and legs, cover up. L with light, loose clothing. Mosquitoes are attracted to dark colours, so if you've got light, they don't like that. O, odours. Watch what odours you're putting out, what perfumes. Don't put perfume on or shower gels. You need to use we do a hair and body wash, citrus shower gel that lowers attractiveness. And then A, apply insect repellent, the most important. And K, keep away from stagnant water. Keep on putting the insect repellent on every few hours when necessary. And that's Cloak. If you can remember Cloak, you're okay. So
Okay, see. Walking House through Incognito addresses these challenges. What makes your approach unique?
Our approach unique is that we are the only company, as far as we're aware in the world, that has these. We have a step system that we have. How you wash, dictates how attractive you are. If you, as I said just now, if you put perfumes on and you're using insect repellent, on one hand, you're pushing the insects away. On the other, you're inviting them. So what we do is uh, we have these washing products that provide a foundation, a base, and then from there it's easy to then when you add on our camouflage, incognito repellent camouflage, then you've got an unprecedented level of protection. I mean, we talked about deep earlier, and it's mosquitoes have become resistant to it. Another thing is that incognito is clinically proven to protect against malaria. The active ingredient, I should say, PMD, which is that's does that answer that question?
Yeah, 100%. And then, how did you get Incognito into high-profile retailers like Harrods and Waitrose?
Well, I went into I just walked in and made. I think at first they sort of turned me away, and I kept on going back until they stopped it. To cut a long story short, they tried it on their shelves, and it's sold out within a week, and then we put double the amount in, sold out again, and this kept on happening. And then on the back of Harrods, we got into Holland and Barrett, and we then went on Dragon's Den, and then we were in Waitrose, Sainsbury's, and then Boots. Finally, Boots, which is, of course, the biggest, I suppose, pharmacy company in the UK.
Okay, I see. And for example, I have a curiosity. So, what was your experience like on Dragon's Den, and why did you ultimately turn down the funding?
Well, it was a very grueling experience. We were grilled for an hour and 40 minutes at Pinewood Studios by the Dragons. I mean, it was an experience that I wouldn't want to repeat in a hurry because it's so stressful. But funnily enough, they didn't. They took one look at us and they didn't ask us much about figures at all. They assumed that all the figures that we gave them, quite rightly, were correct. But ultimately, we turned down James Caan's offer because it would have meant we'd lost. It wasn't fair, and we'd have lost control of our company right at the beginning.
Okay. And then, when you talk to potential clients, what's the biggest misconception they typically have about what you do?
The biggest misconception is that that as a generalization is that natural doesn't work. That's the biggest sort of one that we still have to overcome that, but we are slowly, but surely, educating that. There's other that people also don't understand how an insect. Some people don't understand how an insect repellent can be sustainable, can be ethical. All of these good things that we
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why we've won the two Queen's Awards, or King's Awards, I should say, and as you know, Prince Charles, King Charles as he is now, he invited us onto his lawn at Clarence House because we were sustained. We invited a number of companies, and through there we met the sustainability director of Waitrose, and that's how we got into Waitrose. And King Charles has helped us, quite a lot, and it's been nice to meet him and see how the good work that he does with plants and sustainability.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
And for example, what was your first major success story with a client, and what changed for them after working with you?
I think the first major one was Holland and Barrett because they weren't stocking any insect repellent at that time. And so by having Incognito in first the spray, which sold really well, and customers really liked it, and customers wanted more of stuff to protect Incognito to protect them. So they ended up stocking the whole range, which meant they were selling over £1 million worth of Incognito It wasn't costing them that much to buy, obviously, from us, but that's what they were. So that's a success. It was a win-win success, and we're still in Holland and Barrett.
Okay. And now, looking at the broader industry, what key trends are you seeing emerge?
Is people are preferring botanicals. People are preferring natural, nature, plant-based, and that has been going on for a while, but it seems to have got even larger now, especially on the continent. You look at Germany, there's a lot more sales, and that's from of organic, eco-sustainable products. And it's and to maybe it is growing faster than non in terms of insect repellents. We're growing faster. The growth with them is pretty small, but whereas with natural organics, it's much healthier. It's a sharper incline, but it's even bigger on the growth on the continent and elsewhere.
Okay.
Okay.
And for example, how can travelers protect themselves from mosquito-borne disease?
Well, I mean, by first of all, by taking it with them. We did a survey with the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine last year, an airport survey, which discovered that only a third of travellers were taking insect repellent with them. Two
Yep.
thirds weren't. So that's the first thing, to take insect repellent with you, and also use it correctly by going back to using the cloak, by using my cloak, an acronym, then the mnemonic, then that's it. That if you follow that properly, you're not going to get bitten. If you you're doing something wrong, and you can contact me or through the office, and I'll correct you.
Yeah, right. And having worked with numerous beings in this space, I've noticed some common pitfalls. So, in your opinion, what mistakes do you see companies making when trying to tackle these challenges?
Well, what the one that probably the main destroyer of businesses is cash flow, is not understanding cash flow. Um, and so yes, I mean, so we've, did the opposite. I studied business as well at college, studies. That's one of the things that they teach us. That's probably the most common bad thing. Other things are not SCM, supply chain management. You've got to have that. You can't be late for deliveries. You can't not fulfill deliveries. These are things and other reasons why we've been so successful. We have a 98 fulfillment rate on time. I think we have a 100, actually 100% fulfillment. So we've always make sure we've got enough by planning, forward planning.
Okay, I see.
Okay, see.
And as you wrap up, what's next for Incognito? Any exciting developments on the horizon?
Yeah, we've got some exciting NPD, but if I tell you about it, I'd have to kill you. So it's secret, I'm afraid. It has to be. What can I tell you that is coming to the market? We've got we have a kids one that's just coming out. There we go, with the rainbow on, or the special, unique rainbow. So that's sort of going to be proving popular. We also have the hair and body wash that we've made for a while. That's actually coming to market into hopefully Boots and other companies. So those are effectively they're new as far as the whole the general market is concerned. But the latest scientific stuff that I'm working on, that has to be secret, because our competitors, they want to follow us, and everyone does follow us and try and copy us, and which is nice, but we can't give them too much of a commercial advantage.
Yeah, makes sense. And for listeners who want to learn more or potentially work with Incognito, what's the best way to get in touch?
Through our website really, lessmosquito.com. I also have a blog, avoidingbites.com, but the best way is through the website or email our info account, info@lessmosquito.com.
Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So, thanks for joining me today, Howard, and for this amazing podcast session. And for anyone listening, make sure to check out Incognito socials below in the description because this episode was packed with value and I can wait to see what you build next.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. See you in the next episode then.
Fantastic.